All right, on this video, we are going to take a look at the 14th guard that we're looking at on this series of 2025 free agent offensive guards for the Miami Dolphins. As I've said before, that's important because it's not necessarily how I view the players overall, but how I feel they can fit into the Dolphins' existing schemes while helping some of the stuff that they struggled with last year. Looking at the rankings that are up, players like Trey Smith and Will Hernandez are probably players that I think higher of overall, but not players that I feel are great fits for the Dolphins schemes. As we're looking at most of these players, the clips that we're going to look at are short yardage run plays. So that's going to be 1 to 2 yards to go. Again, thought process there is that if they do well in those situations, they're probably going to do well in others as well. Not trying to put all good or bad clips out here, just trying to find ones that I feel are worth talking about. They're, for the most part, going to be in chronological order, and they're not the only plays that I watched when forming my final opinion. So, this video is going to be on Ben Bartch, who's a reserve lineman for the 49ers. He started 11 games in his second year, and he hasn't started more than 5 since then. He was drafted by the Jaguars and wasn't even hasn't even been active for over half of the games outside of those that second year. He was waived by the Jaguars in 2023 after they claimed Ezra Cleveland, and then he was claimed by the 49ers, and then this past year, signed a really low end 1 year contract to return in 2024. As we get over to the film side of this, um, like I said, he hasn't played a whole lot, so we only have 2 clips that fall into that filter of short yardage run plays. And after those 2 plays, we'll take a look at some other neutral plays just to make sure we're taking a good look at him from a film perspective. So first play here, he's gonna be your left guard here, number 78. We're gonna get inside zone here to the left. So Bartch is comboing with the center here. And you can see off the snap doing a good job with that combo block, getting good first level movement, and then going to the linebacker from there. The second play that we have in those short yardage run scenarios. So this is going to be a quarterback sneak, and I said before I don't like to put a whole lot of these in here, but we talked about with Kendrick Green a little bit of the footwork here. Similar alignment here. He's got an outside alignment, and we saw that Green, stepped to the outside and gave up that inside here. So just a small detail here in terms of Bartch, right? Watching him get off the ball, you can see him taking that inside step, even though he knows that defender is to the outside. Getting some decent movement on the quarterback sneak. Just something that I thought was worth addressing if you had watched the Kendrick Green video before this, so you could see what I was talking about. All right, getting into our more neutral scenarios, run scenarios. Still left guard, back to you. So this is going to be outside zone on the front side here. Would really like to see Bartch be able to, get his hips around and seal this defender, or get a better press upfield. Not a bad job here, just not quite where it needs to be to, has good position from here, right? Just has to be able to continue to win with that position and seal that guy to the inside. Now, a lot of these plays are going to be from this Buffalo game in the snow, and I don't necessarily like using this game, but, footing issues are always a factor in the snow. But when it comes to Bartch, again, limited snaps, this is what we have to work with for him. So we're getting essentially inside zone to the left with that split flow action where you have Kittle coming across. Kind of changes the combo blocks here where it's likely going to be a cutback, and that's exactly what we get here. Probably want to see Bartch doing a better job getting to the inside half of that defender. But you can see he still does a good job, along with the left tackle, of getting movement there and creating some space in that cutback lane. Next play now, facing you, so he's on left side still. Now this is going to be, I think that's outside zone, kind of in the middle there of his aiming point, but not necessarily towards the guard. Included this one just because of the angles. I mean, he's a little late off the snap there, but the way that Bartch helps on the backside and then ricochets off at a good angle towards that linebacker. I think that's something that we miss at times when we're looking at the guards for the Dolphins. So I feel like this is something that he does pretty well. Again, facing you here, and then some shifting up front, and this is outside zone. You can see that original path is down here, but due to the alignment of this defender, and probably also the conditions here, probably discuss this a little bit, that highly unlikely with the split flow action that your left tackle is going to be able to get here and seal this defensive end, right? So this is a pretty early cutback read. And we see that Bartch does a good job of fitting into that defensive tackle. We get a nice combo from the center to spill him over and still be able to get to the linebacker. And then we just see Bartch continue to create movement on that first level defender. Next one here. So we got outside zone away. I think this is the one that McCaffrey got injured on. But again, similar to that outside zone that was to Bartch's side, he's trying to get across this defender and cut him off, and he's in solid position here, right? But we really want to see him be able to flip his hips around and seal this defender inside, or fit that left hand into the center of his chest and press upfield. And, we get a little bit of upfield pressure there, but probably not what we're looking for. This one here, I like this because, this is something the Dolphins struggled with when guys started moving at the second level and messing with the assignments. The 49ers in general, but Bartch included here, do a good job of still understanding, where their assignments are. You can see that use check, despite the linebackers bouncing around here, he knows he's got the number 1 second level defender, which means that your combo here with your center and your left guard is going to have the number 2 linebacker here. And once again, Bartch does a good job of attaching that linebacker and just kind of letting him go where he wants to go. Again, facing you. And now we're getting outside zone. Same idea here. Outside leverage here is going to, give an early cutback read on this. Bartch from the backside of this. We got the combo here between the center and right guard. And that's going to go to number 43 here, which is kind of leaving Bartch on a solo block. Would really like to see him be able to create vertical movement there. Does a decent job of, because the play is going horizontal, just the fight to get to the outside is going to create some horizontal displacement there by the first level defender. But would really like to see that left hand, call it the catch hand, getting underneath that left armpit, so that when we get to this point, right, when that back is cutting back, that Bartch still has a piece of that defensive tackle and can take him through, which we don't see here. Back to you now. Outside zone to the right again. Again, right, these conditions, footing, was going to be an early cutback read all the way. Good job by Bartch here. Better job, I would say, from the start. Right, we're would like to see him a little further over top there, but not a bad fit here. You can kind of see that left hand is better than the last play we talked about, right? And from there, would like that a little lower so that when that defender tries to toss him, he's not getting twisted there. Um, so again, good start to the play, but would have liked to see him be able to continue that horizontal movement and drive him down further. All right, again, right, we're getting. This is more of an inside zone look here, right? They're giving the toss, but the aiming point the whole way. You can kind of tell by the way that the tackle and guard are getting off the ball. They're not really running to that outside. They're basically setting up to block him out, block both these guys out. And you can see that the combo block there between Bartch and the center is going out to number 43 here, and they do a good job of creating that movement, and then Bartch, continues to push after that. Last play here for Bartch, back to you, left side. And this is going to be one that he actually got injured on this play. Finished his season here, but this is outside zone to the left. And again, just a good job by Bartch of being able to, chase down a linebacker. And when you find that linebacker, you're just going to take him on the angle that you find him. And that's exactly what we have here. It's going to be up to the running back, or Debo in this case, to make the lineman right. And because Bartch isn't hesitant there, that's exactly what you get. All right, done with the film review part. Just some basic disclaimers here. We're not talking about the contract here. Idea here is that if all these players were the same price, which ones would I rank high to low? Not really looking into the player background. That would be, age and stuff like that, and not looking at, injury status or injury history. Looking at this list, I can't put Bartch in the top 10. I like Bartch as a backup. He shows a good understanding of the system. His outside zone stuff just doesn't seem to have the short area quickness that we see from a lot of these guys. And while he does some okay stuff in the inside zone and power stuff, there's not enough there to make up for the lack of stuff other places. We got guys like Kendrick Green who has similar tape, but I see a little more athleticism, a little more promise there. And then Evan Brown, who I think is a better scheme fit. And I'm not going to get into where he ranks 11 to 14, but I would say that Bartch is not part of my top 10, but is still somebody I wouldn't mind seeing as a backup on the roster if they decide to do a full overhaul of the guard position. As always, appreciate you watching. Like I've said a couple times now, getting towards the end of my list of guards that I plan on looking at. So if there's somebody you want to see before we wrap this series up, make sure to leave it in the comments, and we'll talk again soon.